Okay, I want to show you something. This is what a Unity project looks like when nobody thinks about organization. Everything is packed into its own folders. For example, there's scripts folder, but then you can see everything is dumped inside. And you need to know when to do this and when not to. And folder structure seems like it's the last thing that matters. But then your project will grow, and then you will have to spend 5 minutes just trying to locate a file. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how I structure my Unity projects, when to not structure your Unity projects, and some simple habits and shortcuts that will really help you when it comes to organization. So let's get started. Welcome to 100 Tips in Unity. This is episode 14. So the goal of folder structure is not organization or cleanliness. It is to make finding things fast. But then again, I should emphasize that there is no one proper folder structure. If you're working alone or as an indie team, then go ahead with what feels comfortable for you. That's what matters because you're used to that. You know where things are, and try not to change it just so that you can impress your own ego. You should stick to your own folder structure and make changes to it if you see some potential problems. That's what you should do. That is always the fastest approach. There is no perfect folder structure. However, I will show you the way I like to do it. And this is for commercial projects only. And I talked about when not to use this. You shouldn't think about folder structure if you're working on a game jam or a quick prototype, because if you're just not going to spend a lot of time on it in the future, then it's not worth it. That being said, there are shortcuts to this, and we'll talk about it towards the end of the video. So stick around until the end. So the way I like to do it is put everything inside a single folder called project. Okay, you start like that. You can create a folder and you name it not project, but you start with an underscore, and then you can name it project, or you can even name it the name of your game. Okay, there you go. This is the most important folder. The underscore is extremely important because it sorts to the top automatically. This is in alphabetical order, and underscore takes priority over the letter A. So everything else, like Unity stuff, like this ones and third-party assets, everything would be outside of this project folder. Okay, this is simply your code. And now you can go to edit and shortcuts and then search for folder, and then you can assign a shortcut to creating a folder. You can press Ctrl, Shift, and N to create a new folder. I'm going to create one called art. And inside this, I'll put textures, models, materials. What else could be there? Shaders, animations, I don't know. All of those things. There you go. Now, you don't need all of these things on day one. It's better to add them as you go rather than creating a template each time. But you can, however, create a template each time. It's completely fine. There is no wrong way to do it. Now, this is something optional, and some people like to do it, some people don't like to do it. And that is to create a folder specific for the player. The player is a game object that you have to work with throughout the entirety of your project. So it makes sense to put all of your player-related stuff, including the player's art, inside a player folder. Okay. Again, you can also add an underscore to this to put this in the front. So this way, if you want to quickly get to the player assets, you can quickly get there. Okay. But this is completely optional. Let's just keep it and let's look at scripts. Here the same thing goes. If you don't have a player folder, then it makes sense to create a folder for the player. Okay. And then put an underscore in front so that it comes to the top. This is completely optional. I'm not going to do that because I already have one. You can also press F2 to rename it. We can create scripts for enemies, UI, I don't know, utilities. I hope I spelled that right. Or audio. And then even input if you want. Scriptable objects. You don't generally name it scriptable objects. Also, I recommend not using space. Here you can see there's a space between scriptable objects. Remove the space. Write it in Pascal case because it's best for version control and everything. Okay? There's no right answer. It's just your workflow, what works best for you. And what else could be there? Prefabs. One more thing, scenes. You will have things like the main menu. You'll have game scene or level 1, whatever it is. You can organize it into folders here. There's no wrong answer. And then, this is also very important. You also have something called a test scene or I like to call it underscore sandbox. You put the underscore so that things go at the top. It's very important to have a test scene where you throw a lot of stuff and play around with it. It's like playing in the mud. Okay, you should always have a sandbox scene. And now I am a fan of creating a lot of assets for your code, everything, using class inheritance, using scriptable objects, and then creating a lot of assets. It's always a great thing to do. People might think that might be a problem. If you group all of your code into a single script, it's actually a bad way to write code. Instead, you should split it into individual behaviors. For example, the player can have code for jumping, movement, and everything else. You should separate it out into its own individual scripts. Okay? And you might think that might cause clutter and confusion, but there are some shortcuts and some tools inside Unity that will help you through it. The first thing is this thing called search by type. So you can click on this and you can filter out things by type. So I've already created a physics material inside my project and I can just click on it. And there you go. It filters only the physics material. This way you don't even need to go to each folder. You can just click on this, filter it, and then use the search. Okay? It's a very convenient way to handle things. You can also do the same thing for scripts. Okay? Everything that you need is here and you should use it. Another useful tool is the one on the right. This is great for commercial games, not that great for quick projects. That is to search by label. You can click on it and it will show you a lot of labels. If you don't know what labels are, and this is it's very hidden, but it's very useful at the same time. Let me click on one of my assets and you can click on an asset and assign a label to it in the inspector. And that is over here at the bottom right, here, there is an icon. You can click on it and assign a label. And it's as simple as that. Temporarily, let me assign architecture. And there we go. Now if you go back and then filter by architecture, you can see all of the assets that are labeled architecture. It is also very useful. Okay. Set labels to your assets. And then you can also search by errors and warnings. Like if there are any errors or if there are any warnings in your assets, you can search by import log types. It is very straightforward. And let's say you searched for something, you can click on the star icon and save the search. Okay. And it will be up at the top here. So I can say physics material. That's the thing that I searched for. And if I close it, if I'm frequently searching for physics material, I can just click here and it is automatically a saved search. This is really useful. You can right click and delete it if you don't want it. And there are all prefabs, all models, all materials, searches that are really useful. Now this is the final shortcut that is really, really useful. And that is the shortcut called Ctrl+K. It opens up the search menu. And this is how you find assets quickly. You don't have to go to folder. And now you can search for anything. For example, I search for the readme.cs file that comes by default. I can click on it and it will take me to the exact folder. Okay, it's a very quick way of accessing it. And this is great if you want to access the import settings. If I want to open the script, it's Alt and Enter. This is going to open it inside Visual Studio. Okay, there we go. And some tips that will really help you. About the scenes, I always recommend working on a sandbox scene. I already mentioned this, but it matters. Anytime you're testing something experimental, open the sandbox scene or the test scene. If it works, move it. If it doesn't, just clear everything that you don't need in the scene. There is no risk, and that's why I recommend using it. Secondly, when you're using version control, always remember to add a git ignore file. And you should have a GitHub repo for your project. Okay? Especially if it's a commercial game that you're building. And finally, this is huge. And this is a little bit advanced. That is to use assembly definitions. This allows you to group scripts together into a certain assembly. For example, in my tutorial info, README, you can right click, create, scripting, assembly definition. And let's just call it project name _ tutorial info. Something as simple as that. You can also use a dot as well. Project name .tutorial info. That also works. In fact, if you click on it and go to version defines, a lot of existing Unity assembly definitions uses the dot. Okay. It's great to group assembly definitions using proper naming conventions. This allows you to reduce compile times and everything. But that's not the point of this video. I already have a video on it. I will link it in the top right if you're interested. So I hope this video is useful. Let's improve little by little. Thank you for watching. Take care. I love you.